Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I have a baby card to share with you, which is also another entry for the Hello Bluebird Color Challenge 3. So today I am using the Little Star stem set, and I also wanted to combine it with the Starry Star die from Hello Bluebird. As you probably noticed in my last video for the challenge, I just received my Hello Bluebird order from the latest release, and it was the birthday gift of the man, the mother-in-law, and then also a bit of myself. So I got quite a lot of things as I just save up for these releases. I told it in the past, it's just um, my soft spot. Hello Bluebird. I just want it all, and I still haven't got everything, but I got a lot, and I'm aware of that. But I'm also going to try to show quite a lot of Hello Bluebird whenever I can. And then there are the challenges, which are quite cool and give you an opportunity to win $50 for the Hello Bluebird shop. And as we all love it, it's always handy to get a bit of a bonus when we are shopping, so why not try it? So as you probably know, there are 4 colors in this challenge. There is a light kind of minty blue, a darker blue, and then a light brown and a dark brown. Since I'm only having one critter on this card, I just decided to make sure that both browns were in the combination of this bear, and so the really bright color will be the lightest brown is the E51 that I'm using, and then E53. I sort of find that to go really well with that light brown color in the combination from this challenge, and then the darker browns E47, E37. It's helping me with that second brown color. So that is the brown, and then I will use the same blue combination as I used in the other card for this challenge. I really loved how the Concord and Ninth inks blended there, and I love the transition, so I'm going to try to do that again today, but without the stencil, just a gradient into that white of my card panel. So I wanted to add quite a lot of stars. I'm going to have some yellow stars that I'm coloring here, and then I'm also having some white stars from the die cut that we will do with the Starry Star die from Hello Bluebird. Then for the cloud, something that I tend to do is some flicking with my markers to just have it also fade into that white area. And something that you can also do if you find that there is still quite a harsh line is to go with your colorless blender in the other direction so that you can fade out that edge a bit more. So I'm using G00 and G000, which is for me really that light blue that is in this combination for the challenge. It's also one of my favorite colors to do a snowman or a cloud in this case. And then with that colorless blender, I just push it a bit back. For the stars, I'm going for a really soft, warm yellow, using a bit of yellow red, and then going into yellow 11. It depends on the sizes of the stars that I am using more or less markers, because of course if you have a tiny star, it's really hard to incorporate 4 markers. If you have a big one, then sometimes 2 is just not enough. So therefore it just depends a bit on the size. And then I'm doing a second layer. As you know, I just find that to help me with the blend on this paper, and I'm just going from darkest to lightest because it works for me, but you do you, of course. And then once the coloring is done, I'm going to die cut all of these pieces with the matching dies, and then we can start on the background. Now for the background, as I said, I'm going to use that Starry Star die. I also decided to use the Oh Baby Words die from Hello Bluebird, a really adorable die. Love the script. And you have the shadow as well as just the words without the shadow, so you can combine it if you want to. Today I'm not combining it. I wanted to have half of my panel with this die cut stars background, so I just traced for myself with some purple tape until which area I wanted to die cut to help me with placement in my die cutting machine. Now There were a few elements that also started cutting where I didn't want it to be, so I'm just using my bone folders to flatten that out, and then I will cover one of those elements that already cut a bit with that cloud, just to help me. So we can cover up some things if there is something that just went wrong. It's also a bit learn on the go, and sometimes we will fail with partial die cutting. Sometimes it works perfectly and then we just do a happy dance. Today it was a bit in between, but I was able to cover it up, so I wasn't going to die cut it again. So as I said, for the color combination of the blue color for this card, I am using the same inks as I used on the other card for this challenge, which are Concord and Night inks. And for the first card, I thought that I would have enough with 2-3 colors, but then one of the colors, the sea gloss, was just a bit too greenish, so I added Aqua Sky on top, and so for today I immediately thought of using all 4 of them. I'm not going to cover it up here, I already knew what was working, so I'm not going to change that. That's the beauty about it. If you love something, a certain combination in markers, in inks, anything, if you know that it works, then definitely use it again, because as you know, it works. So the only thing that was really important for me was to get some sort of a gradient into the white of my panel. I didn't want to ink blend a complete panel. That's also why I wanted to only partial die cut the stars. And then I really want that vibrantness, so I'm going over and over until I love the blend that I get and the darkness of the inks. So you can just keep going, actually. Your paper can handle quite a lot. Also, this paper isn't the most forgiving, so definitely light-handed if you can and build up the colors. Today I was a bit less patient, but in the end it worked out, so I cannot complain. But there are other papers like Strathmore Bristol Smooth, for example, that is really forgiving if you need to ink blend and you're not used to it or you feel uncomfortable. That paper keeps your inks on top a bit longer, a bit wet, and it gives you more room to really blend until you're happy with it. So in case blending is a difficult thing, it might be the paper that you're using. It might also be the inks, but there are always papers that can help you with ink blending. So here I sort of try to see where I wanted everything to be placed. And once I was convinced about it, I die cut the Oh Baby out of a white paper, just the same paper as my panel. And then I'm using that negative that I have left over. The negative, in my opinion, is the part of the paper that is left over without the intention of the die. So the die is intended to cut the Oh Baby out, and what is left over of the paper is for me the negative. So I use that negative to inlay the words so that I have perfect spacement, because often I really love how Hello Bluebird spaces out the words they have in their dies. So I love this composition of the Oh Baby from the die. I wanted it exactly to be the same, so therefore that negative is really handy. And then I'm going to use some thin foam squares to add my images to this panel. I'm first adding the balloon, and then the berry will slightly overlap the balloon, so I need to add there some thin foam squares but also liquid glue, so that everything will be smooth once adhered. And I'm trying to have that star balloon kind of thing to go straight when placing it. And then this bucket, I think it's great when you're using the fox from this stamp set. He's sort of catching the stars, but I really wanted to show a lot of stars on this card, so I just added that bucket as well here. Then I'm removing my purple tape, and then I was contemplating whether I was going to add some yellow behind my panel or not. But because I already had some stars colored yellow, I really like the idea of having some white stars and then just have some jump out with the yellow that we colored in. So I'm just going to keep those stars white, but if you want to, you can add some yellow paper behind it, or you can color every star that you're die cutting here with the same markers as you did with the stars that you stamped out. There are lots of possibilities to play around with. Some of the stars that I colored, I'm just adding exactly in some of the gaps that were die cut. Others I am going to randomly add on some areas that I really like. And that's just a bit how I ended up assembling this card with the stars. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I just stamped all of the stars out that were in the stamp set to have a few there. And then I just tried to incorporate them all, to just have all of the effort we put into the coloring back on that card as well. So I'm using some thin foam squares there as well to add those stars on my card panel. And then we are going to finish it off by adding glossy accents to all of the stars. Really tiny sometimes, but that works perfectly, and if you need to, you can wiggle it around the glossy accents with a needle or anything like that. And that is my card, a second entry for the Hello Bluebird color challenge. I hope that you enjoyed this card. I really love how it turned out. I love this combination, so even if you cannot participate due to some time limits, maybe you can use this combination in a next card that you will create, because I think it's gorgeous. Thank you so much for stopping by and taking the time to watch this video. I truly appreciate you all being here. I want to wish you all an incredible day, and I'll be back soon. Bye!